Have you ever been in a situation where you felt as though you could not defend yourself, feared for your safety, and didn't know how to protect yourself and fend off attackers? Knowing how to protect yourself is very important, especially in our society today, unfortunately. My goal today is to inform my audience and peers and persuade them to take self-defense classes more seriously and enroll in classes to become an expert in protecting yourself. Self-defense is not only about defending yourself from abuse and violence, both physically and mentally, but it also ensures that you are confident in yourself and in your surroundings. As I'm sure we have all heard and seen, the news is filled with headlines about several cases of shootings, active violences, and active harm. These tragedies not only occur in adults, but is also occurring in our younger generations, in K through 12 schools and on college and university campuses. As a younger and more petite woman, I have been in several situations where I felt as though I could not guarantee that I could defend myself. Despite the fact that I was in Taekwondo for nearly 7 years and was on the East Coast national team, I still feel as though a self-defense refresher would be extremely beneficial to myself personally. Especially with all of the mass school shootings and various amounts of violence that is happening in our world lately, self-defense is something crucial that everyone should learn. Self-defense trains you to defend yourself physically and mentally. It is defined as a countermeasure that involves defending yourself and defending the health and well-being of oneself from harm. Self-defense is important. Outside of all the extreme examples that you see in the news, self-defense ensures and assists you in protecting yourself and your loved ones. It is your right to protect yourself from harm in appropriate situations, even if the behavior may subject you to crime. States throughout the United States have their own regulations and rules to determine what constitutes as self-defense and what constitutes as a crime, and how much harm you may use to protect yourself. If a threat comes your way and provokes you, you have every right to defend yourself for the sake of your well-being. We should not only think about our surroundings for the sake of ourselves individually, but for our youth and younger generations. Shootings and gun violence offenses have been occurring more than they ever have. As of 2023, school shootings are the #1 cause of death for school children. As of 2020, the CDC found that 96% of public schools have written plans for school shootings, and 98% of these schools have drilled students about lockdown procedures and the importance of them. These percentages have increased from 70 to 90% in just 4 years since 2016, when this article was written in 2020. Educational institutions have implemented the importance of self-defense and lockdowns for the youth for years. It has only become increasingly more important in the up-and-coming years. According to statistics, in the 2002-2001 school year, there were roughly 26 school shootings recorded. During the 2020 to 2021 school year, this number nearly quadrupled. There were roughly 93 school shootings during that school year. And as of the end of 2022 in December, there were nearly 300 school shootings. So we broke that record again. When you listen and put these statistics into perspective, the importance of self-defense becomes more apparent and urgent. We need to learn self-defense not only for the sake of our school children, but also for the sake of communities in general. Knowing preventative procedures and plans will only benefit and help people in these situations. Prioritizing self-defense is something you need to consider. It is tragic that something like sexual harassment and violence is something that occurs so early in an individual's lifetime. It is something that should not happen at all. Alongside that, it is absolutely horrific that we live in a world where we have to seriously think about our safety in all settings, especially as women. Having no knowledge or plan on how to deal or approach these situations can and will help you and will leave you extremely vulnerable. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 26 men have experienced attempted and or completed rape in their lifetime. It is very unfortunate and tragic that sexual harassment and violence is so common, especially for women. I personally have experienced some form of sexual harassment and know several women who have experienced the same or even worse. Knowing how to protect yourself to prevent or at least hinder the violence that is being forced upon you can and will help you in the long run. Even if you couldn't protect yourself fully to slow or stop the attack in any, it will still be able to slow or stop the attack in any way would benefit you. Sexual assault is unfortunately one of the situations where self-defense and training and knowledge is extremely needed. Self-defense does not only entail physical interventions, but mental abuse is also something that you should know how to protect yourself against. Mental abuse is less apparent and less visible to the naked eye. It may be harder to notice when it's happening. Standing up for yourself is the first and most crucial step to defending yourself for the sake of your mental well-being. Mental self-defense is a primer for psychological resilience and self-control. Protecting your mind and mental health can be synonymous with protecting yourself physically. Although it's harder to perceive at first and initially, mental health effects can be more harmful than physical attacks. If you're in danger, there are a series of things you should be aware of. According to Psychology Today, there is an ex-Secret Service agent that suggests that you maintain your focus on your surroundings. Picking up on unusual behaviors and occurrences may help and prevent you from encountering an attack. The first step to mental self-defense is recognizing who you're surrounded with and by, what's around, and where your exits are. As a woman, this is always the first thing I do when I enter any setting. I scan the room and note the things that make me uncomfortable. Taking preventative measures ensures that you are more prepared to plan your escape or out. Next, you should know how to use your voice. In the event that you're being attacked, using your voice may be the one thing that disorients your attacker and brings more awareness to your situation. I have always been told the significance of yelling fire in an emergency, even if that's not what's going on. It is statistically proven that more people are more reluctant to respond to help than fire. This is a prime example of how your voice and choice of wording can benefit you in dangerous situations. In the event that you're being subjected to mental abuse, you should know how to identify the signs and be able to respond accordingly. Emotional and mental abuse can be defined as the regular and deliberate use of range of words and non-physical actions used with the purpose to manipulate, hurt, weaken, or frighten a person mentally and emotionally, according to Safe Lives Psychology. Emotional abuse takes many forms, which is why it is more difficult to perceive. Threats can be direct or indirect, so knowing how to pick up on the warning signs and standing up for yourself is crucial to protecting yourself. When mental abuse occurs, the victim may feel a mix of fear, guilt, and shame that paralyzes them from leaving their abuser or the situation. This not only means the victim isn't defending themselves, their confidence and self-awareness is dwindled. There are many benefits to learning self-defense, and once you know how to defend and protect yourself, it is proven that you will be more confident and prepared for anything that comes your way. Self-defense builds more confidence, self-discipline, and self-awareness. Although it may be obvious, self-defense has many benefits. It does not just entail protecting yourself physically and mentally, but it also ensures that you are in a safer position if anything were to happen. Being confident and sure of yourself only enhances your ability to protect yourself. It is empowering to be confident and sure of yourself. You will have more control of you and yourself and your surroundings and your actions. In more violent situations, this will help you confidently assess, control, and navigate the dangerous and uncomfortable settings you effectively. Learning how to cope and manage your situation and yourself is powerful and ensures you are more educated in how to defend yourself in any situation. Confidence is protective and is a way to remove a target from your back. In an event of an attack, usually targets are individuals who hang their head low and scurry around quietly. The confidence within yourself is visible, and perpetrators are able to use that to decide who their victim is. Self-discipline allows you to stay focused on your goals, and it allows you to stay in control of yourself and your reaction to things. If you do not have control of yourself and your reactions in dangerous situations, you will not be able to fully protect and defend yourself from an attacker. The more you work on and train your self-discipline, the stronger you will become. Self-awareness is crucial in all situations, but especially in more dangerous situations. You cannot fully defend yourself if you are not self-aware of yourself and your surroundings. It is defined as the conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, and motives. According to New Roads Behavioral Health, self-awareness means being more conscious of the conditioning that comes with noticing how we react and deal with our problems. If we are more conscious of our brain's autonomic and automatic emotional response, you will have more control over your reaction overall. As we wrap our thoughts up, I would like to highlight the importance of self-defense one last time. Although it is implied, self-defense is a skill that could save you in a life-threatening situation. We talked about the importance of self-defense when it comes to physical forms of assault, especially regarding violence towards more women and children. Being able to defend yourself in situations like sexual assault and or gun violence is preventative measures that we need to ensure the safety of everyone. Prevention and preventative measures are far better than a cure, which is why self-defense is so important. It is difficult to protect yourself when you are unprepared and uneducated on how to do so. Self-defense is a vital skill that we should have and be trained on. Without it, you could be put in a situation where you cannot safely protect yourself and your well-being.